This is Poetry TV. I had an idea a couple of decades ago. I thought, wouldn't it be nice to have a poetry channel where we just have poets and artists on, and I'd call it Poetry TV. And it seemed kind of silly, and then along came MTV, Music TV. They seem to have gotten the lion's share these days, but we're still hopeful that Poetry TV will take its place alongside the other media arts. We're the Fresh Meadows Poets, and my name is Israel Halpern. I'm the host of Poetry TV. We are a small nonprofit group of artists here in Queens, and we publish. This is this year's publication. Every year we publish a book of poems. We have a TV show called Poetry TV that you're currently watching. We do readings around Queens, Barnes & Noble, various bookstores. I go into Rikers Island and teach a poetry workshop, and Creedmoor Hospital and teach a workshop. But today's specific project is part one of a three-part series in which Fresh Meadows Poets presents a poet whose work, whose profundity, whose depth, whose commitment we feel deserves the exposure of a series. So we're going to do 3 shows based on the life and the work and the ideas of Cleveland Wall, a poet currently living in Bethlehem and traveled quite a ways to get here. Cleveland is someone that I met a couple of years ago. We were giving a poetry reading in Greenwich Village, and she had at that time a few small booklets of her poetry, and I retained that and I stayed in contact, and lo and behold, we have this very day. Cleveland, welcome.
Thank you, Israel.
I understand that part of a process, of the many processes that you avail yourself of in terms of writing and creating poetry is the notion of discovered or found poetry, an event that you find yourself in, and the event strikes you in a particular way, and you enter the event in a different way and emerge from it. Is that?
Yes, it's like free candy. You walk into a scene and you realize that you are in a poem, and all you have to do is write it down. Those are my favorite because they're easy and fun. Like I say, free candy.
That's wonderful. I noticed that, and probably our viewers noticed, that there's a mask on the table between us, and this is in the style of a Muret mask. Am I saying that right? Mureta?
Moreta.
Moreta, which is native to...
It's originally from France, but it's one of the traditional Carnival masks in the Carnival of Venice.
Oh, right. Venezia. The reason why we have a mask here is because one of the processes and one of the devices that artists, sculptors, painters, musicians have used over the years, the attention of the spotlight is very difficult for people to bear. They don't like to live their lives in a fishbowl. And so we sometimes write putting on a mask, putting on a persona. You've seen the happy and the tragic and the comic masks of Greek theater, and we see it in the No Theater of Japan. And that's why we have a mask here. Have you found that some of your work has ensued as a result of coming in contact with these Mureta? Am I saying that right?
Moreta.
Moreta.
With an O. Moreta.
Moreta.
I'm sure in an indirect way it does, and that's part of a big part of my process is trying to engage the unconscious mind. And I think picking up little things like this, like the metaphor of the Moreta, which is held in place by a button on the inside of the mask. So while you are wearing it, you can't speak. And if you speak, you reveal yourself. So, you know how we poets are just suckers for those ready-made metaphors, free candy. So I always thought I would want to do something with a Moreta. I made this one myself.
Ah. It's quite a town, Venice. They say it's sinking into the sea, and it's an island culture very watery city and the inspiration to many poets and artists. Why don't you share with us some of your work and feel free to speak about it as well. I know our viewers are avidly waiting this, so am I.
Okay. Well, I brought these poems in mind with the found poems, and as I culled these things, I arranged them in the order of the purest, as-is kind of poems, starting with the ones that really are exactly as it happened. And I found, as I looked at them, usually there was a little something that I was adding to it of my own. So even the ones that seemed to be completely found out of the blue, there's something in which details you choose to notice that kind of give you away anyhow. So I want to start with this poem called A Bird Not Moving. I saw a bird not moving on a branch in the snow and feared the worst. Not much stirred except the snow falling straight or almost straight down, until the still form resolved into a leaf unfallen. Not only dead, it had never been a bird at all. Now the next one that I brought is called Cured.